going on, guys? Hope you guys are all having an amazing day. My name is Ricky with TechWit Solutions. We are one of the fastest growing trading communities out there. If you guys haven't checked us out already, be sure to click that third link in the description. We have a little bit over 100,000 members, and we just hit a little bit over 153,000 subscribers within our YouTube platform. I want to thank you guys again for tuning in, and in this video, I'm going to talk about how to make your first $1,000. The reason that you probably clicked on this video is because maybe you're having trouble staying green or making money on a consistent basis. So what is it that you can do to actually start growing your account? In this video, I'm going to explain some tips and tricks on how to stay on track to grow your account and make $1,000. And the reason that I'm doing this with the 100,000 members that we have, be sure to tune into the very end of the video and what our goal is. Hope you guys enjoy. This is the $1,000 profit challenge. So this is going to be a concept that I came up with in a way that I hope that can guide you in the right direction and at least get you on track to actually start growing your account. Not only am I going to cover my rules, not only am I going to cover my trading style, but I want to also talk about the goal and also the words of encouragement that I would have for someone that is just getting started. If you guys are quick learners, then be sure to pause, skim through this video, and get straight to it. But for those that want an in-depth breakdown, this video is going to be just for you. So let's go ahead and get started. The $1,000 profit challenge. So what my ideal starting balance would be if you're going to start this challenge would be starting with a minimum balance of about $1,000. And the reason that I'm talking about this minimum balance of $1,000 is I find it much more effective and realistic for people that have $1,000 to actually start growing their account, not just because of the percentage growth, because regardless if you're starting with $100, $1,000, or $10,000, the percentage growth is the same. But I tend to see that when people start with $100 and they might experience a 10% growth, that's only $10. And intrinsically, because a lot of us are motivated by money, that might not be enough. But let's say you start with $1,000 and you grow your account 10%, $100 is at least a little bit more appealing to a majority of the people that are viewing this video. So I just want to let you guys know that the $1,000 challenge does not have to start with actually $1,000, but it's just a recommendation to keep you motivated. So I hope you guys understand. I want to go into the second part, 2.5% growth a week. I think one of the biggest misconceptions about investing in the stock market is that this is a market where you're going to get rich quick. I want to let you know that based on my trading experience and the tens of thousands of people that I mentor and oversee, this is not it. I want to make sure, and something that I've seen the highest success rate in with the people that I mentor is focusing on getting the ball rolling. So many people have the idea that they're just going to make it, right? That they're just going to get it right away without any understanding of how to invest in the stock market. I have this mentality and this concept that I like to implement with the people that I mentor in the Learn, Plan, Profit lesson library, and that is growing your account on a consistent basis week after week. I don't have daily goals, I have weekly goals. And the reason why is because I don't want someone to be so focused on taking a day trade every single day, especially if you're under $25,000 and under the PDT rule. So with that understanding, I believe that if you are struggling growing your account, it might be because of one of two reasons. You don't understand what you are investing in, or you're trying to chase percentage growth or potential for profit too aggressively. What if you gave yourself a goal? Just try it for 1 week out of your life, to grow your account 2.5% with these series of concepts. Even if you're paper trading or simulation trading with fake money, this can be an amazing concept that you can implement to get a better understanding on how to actually begin to start growing your account. And that's what it's all about, right? To actually start growing your account. Some of you might do an excellent job of experiencing maybe 15% growth within one trade. But then maybe a couple days later, you give back all your profits because you just experienced a 20 to 30% loss. Why is it that happened? Risk management, you probably don't understand that. For there to be a break of pattern, you probably didn't understand that, so therefore you didn't know where to cut losses. Because you don't have the general understanding and foundation of how to invest successfully and consistently in the market. So one of the huge areas of opportunity that I would encourage you to do, especially if you're paper trading and simulation trading, which means no monetary risk, to start setting a goal of 2.5% a week. That is a goal, that's a generic goal. I think it's very realistic for a lot of the stocks and ETFs that I choose to trade, and it's very realistic for a lot of the people that I mentor. So that is why I'm setting this goal. You can change it according to how aggressive it is that you want to be, but I would say don't go in very aggressive. Focus on just getting the ball rolling, and that is why I have the 2.5% a week goal for this $1,000 profit challenge. The second thing is I want to make sure that we focus on a consistent growth, right? So 2.5% a week, that accumulates to over 10% growth a month, right? So if you are trying to grow your account $1,000 and you're starting with an initial balance of $1,000, simple math, right? It's going to take you about 10 months to grow your account from $1,000 to $2,000, overseeing a overall 100% growth. Yes, some of you might experience this at a much quicker pace, and some of you might experience this at a much slower pace. But just understand that these goals are just something to work towards. But it's just about getting the ball rolling and understanding that you have a goal, and it makes it much more realistic for you to actually achieve when you understand what it is that you are aiming for. So with that being said, 2.5% a week, 10% a month, and 100% growth in 10 months. Your total account value will be about $2,000 at the end of 10 months. Very simple, right? And this is amazing. Just think about this. You will finally be able to say that you are a profitable stock investor. Easiest way to put it. A lot of you guys might have in your bio that you guys invest in the stock market. But how amazing would it be to actually begin to start making money and growing your account? And it starts with one simple thing: getting the ball rolling and forgetting about what everyone else is talking about and just focusing on growing your accounts. These are my rules that have assisted me and the people that I mentor in growing my account. These are my rules, and again, if you don't agree with them, you 100% don't have to abide with them, right? So these are my rules. Understand the pattern that you are trading. I cannot tell you how many times I've been messaged, right? I oversee over 100,000 people within my free trading community, TechPut Solutions. I can't tell you how many times I have people tell me, hey Ricky, do you think I should start cutting losses on this position that I've been bag holding, meaning that I've been holding a position as it continues to descend? Does that make sense? Why are you asking me what you should do with your hard-earned money? First of all, that tells me that you did not understand the pattern that you were investing in, because when there was a break of pattern, you would have been able to identify that and have cut losses at that price point. And that's why risk management is one of the most important things that we implement within the Learn, Plan, Profit lesson library. Second thing, ensure that you are getting a good deal. This is actually a video that I made about a couple days ago talking about how to have a better understanding on how to get a good deal on a stock. Very simple breakdown. This is just an example and it's just a concept. When you oversee ticker symbol TMUS, this is T-Mobile, you understand the support, you understand the resistance. You ask yourself, based on the previous patterns and the range, right, the price range of where it's at, do you see that it's at the lower part or the higher part? Is it at the support or is it at the resistance? You can easily validate this just by taking a step back, doing a 180-day, 4-hour chart analysis, right, and being able to see if the stock is closer to the resistance, it might not be such a good deal. If it's closer to the support, it might be a good deal, right? Again, have an understanding that when you invest in something, the whole purpose for you to invest in it is for it to appreciate in value, for you to be able to sell for a profit. So why is it that you are taking a position without the understanding if it's a good deal or not? Ask yourself that question every single time before you take a position. Are you getting a good deal? Because if you're getting a good deal, then you know that you'll have a much better understanding to sell it for a profit. Next thing, margin of profit, opportunity cost. This is a rule that I've given for myself. I want to make sure that whatever I invest in, that the margin of profit is worth my time, right? I have a goal of about 3% per trade minimum. If it's a day trade or even if it's a swing trade, it has to offer a margin of profit of 3%. Why do I say that? Well, let's put it into example of something that might be a little bit more realistic for you. Let's say I'm an iPhone reseller, and I know that I could buy iPhones for about $100 and sell them for about $150, which is the market value. There's a $50 margin there, so I could buy a bunch at $100 and sell them at $150 because everyone else is buying them at $150, right? So I'm building myself this margin. But let's say instead of buying it for $100, again, closer to the resistance, if I can buy an iPhone for $145, there's a $5 profit margin. Is it worth it to invest $145 to make $5? Potentially make $5. What about if that iPhone has a bad ESN? What if all of a sudden that iPhone starts to experience some type of technical issues, right? There's a number of things that can go wrong, and that's why that $50 margin, that opportunity cost, can be worth it. But when that margin of profit does not outweigh the risk factor, then it might not be worth it. Same thing as what you should be asking yourself before you take a position on any stock. Is the margin of profit worth it? If it offers 1%, is it even worth to take a position? Again, focus on not over trading and focusing on quality trades. Quality over quantity, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. Candles are actively trending up above the 180-day 4-hour chart with the EMA length at 15. So I want the candles to start showing signs of an uptrend pattern. And if you don't know what it is that I mean by this, you might want to actually go on YouTube, search up EMA, so exponential moving average, Ricky Gutierrez, and I have a video explaining this indicator and why it is that I like to focus on stocks that are actively trending above this EMA indicator. It starts to show signs of an uptrend, and that is something that I want to make sure that every stock that I invest in shows. The reason why is I want my account to grow, right? I want to make sure that what I'm investing in is showing signs of an uptrend and that I don't get in for a potential good buy, but it continues to descend. The EMA indicator, based on my experience, has offered a very high success rate when it comes down to waiting for the overall candles to actually be trending above the EMA. So that is why I wait for the confirmation for the candles to break above the EMA indicator and start showing signs of an uptrend pattern. Another thing, the EMA line pointing up, showing signs of an uptrend pattern. So what do I mean by that? So let me go ahead and give you an example. So looking at something like USLV. USLV was showing signs of a downward pattern when it was at its resistance at about $11. It was trending down, trending down, trending down. And looking at this pattern, even on this 180-day 4-hour chart, you could see that this overall EMA was pointing down, showing signs of a downward pattern. The candles continued to descend and show signs of a downward pattern. But when the candles broke above the EMA, again, waiting for that, right? And then I see that there's consolidation, and then it continues to hold above this EMA. This EMA line is pointing up, right? If there was an arrow at the end of this EMA line, it's pointing up. So at least I know I'm investing in something which its direction, its growth potential is pointing up, rather than investing in something that is continuing descending, right? And offers a descending pattern. If I want to grow my account, wouldn't it make sense to invest in patterns that are growing? Why would I want to buy something at this price point right here when the EMA line is still showing signs of a downward pattern and the candles are below the EMA? It doesn't make sense. Why not wait for the candles to break above? So be patient. Wait for the overall confirmation of an uptrend pattern and the EMA line to start pointing up, so I know that I at least am invested in something that is actively trending up. 100% of the time, this is not going to work. And the reason why is because there is not one indicator that will offer a 100% success rate. But these series of indicators that I've developed have at least allowed me, right, to get a better understanding of when something has a higher chance of actually continuing to show signs of an uptrend pattern. Another thing is the intraday candles trending between the middle and top VWAP. So what do I mean by that? In the intraday chart, you know that you have the EMA line and you have the top VWAP and bottom VWAP. Very quick analysis. You guys can check out the VWAP video that I either have on YouTube, or if you're enrolled in the Learn Plan Profit lesson library, I'd encourage you to check out the lesson library video that I have that covers the VWAP and how it is that I utilize that to get a better understanding of where to get in and where to get out. Plan your trade. Make sure that before you actually take your position that you understand where you're buying, where you're selling, and where you're going to be cutting your losses before taking a position every single time, especially if you're just getting started. I cannot tell you how irresponsible it can be for an investor to not actually plan out their trade before actually taking a position. The reason that that can be so effective is because you want to make sure that you understand that you are investing in something and you understand the risk involved. So if you go in blindly into a position, you don't understand where you're buying, you don't understand that you're getting a good deal, you don't understand where you're going to be selling because you don't understand, where's the resistance. And then the last thing is you don't know where you're going to be cutting your losses because you don't understand the pattern, so you won't understand the difference of a pullback or a break of pattern. So that is why it's so important to know how to set up a plan, because you have to have all these different components prior to setting up your plan. And if you can't set up a proper plan right now, it simply means that you have to dedicate a little bit more time to fully understand how to perform a technical analysis and understand patterns. That is all. It's a time thing, and it's going to take time to get there. But once you do, it's a beautiful thing in being able to understand how to manage risk and how to understand where it is that you're getting in for a good buy and where it is that you're going to be getting out for a good exit, right? And then the last thing that I want to talk about is understand the worst case scenario to play defense. Meaning that you understand what can go wrong, but you have a stop loss, or you'll understand because of an alert that you're going to set, that if it pulls back beyond a certain point, that you understand that it is time to cut losses because the pattern that you first saw value in is no longer relevant. So the value is no longer there, which can happen, but it's those that react quickly and cut losses quickly that can manage risk. So as long as you minimize the overall loss that you experience, let's say every time that you set a stop loss, it's at about 1 or 2%. And let's say every time that you focus on let's say every time that you take a position, the margin of profit is 10%, you can take 2 to 3 losses at an average of 2%, right? That's 6% loss, but you only need one to play out according to what it is that you saw value in and cover that 10% margin. And at the end of the day, or at the end of the week and at the end of the month, you will end it on a green note because your margin of profit outweighs your margin of loss. And that's because you know how to manage risk. It is very important to plan out your trade and to understand how to play defense. Now, my trading style, these are just some little tips and tricks on the top 3 swing trade indicators that I like to use. Time frame, 180-day 4-hour chart. That's just showing you the time frame that I like to focus on when I swing trade, and the indicators that I like to focus on. The EMA with the length of 15, the SMA with the length of 180, and the MACD indicator. I have a video on YouTube and in the Learn Plan Profit lesson library for each one of these indicators. Dedicate time, use the Google or YouTube search bar. Don't comment below what the video is. Use the YouTube search bar and search up my name with these indicators right next to it. A video will pop up. Do your own due diligence. Top 3 day trade indicators. Time frame 1 day 1 minute is my favorite. That's my preference. It doesn't have to be yours. And I like to use the VWAP and the EMA and the SMA. And these are the links. Favorite patterns to focus on. Horizontal and ascending uptrend patterns. What do I mean by that? Very quick example. This is an uptrend pattern. When it continues to make higher highs and its lows are higher than its previous lows, showing signs of an uptrend pattern. I find these to be so effective because I know that even if I don't get in for the best entry and I'm focusing on something that's actively trending up on the 180-day 4-hour chart, even if I don't get in at the best entry, right? Even if I end up getting, maybe even a little bit too late or maybe a little bit too early, I know that because of this ascending uptrend pattern, I have a higher probability of this thing validating its support and continuing its uptrend pattern, exceeding where it is that I originally purchased at because of this uptrend pattern. I personally would encourage you, if possible, this is my preference, to stay away from descending patterns, meaning that it continues to make lower lows and its highs continue to make lower highs. Do a technical analysis and analyze the stock on the 180-day 4-hour chart to understand the direction that stock is pointing. That's my preference. You don't have to follow it, but I just know that a lot of people, especially that are just getting started, find it very difficult to experience a high success rate when trading descending stocks. And the most important and one of my most favorite actual patterns that I like to focus on are horizontal patterns, right? You guys know what it is. I do this almost every single day, and that's what leads me to be able to make a couple $1,000s every single week. My average profit a week has to be anywhere from 2.5 to 3K a week, and it works for me. Very easy to understand the low points, very easy to understand the high points. So when it confirms and bounces at the support that it previously had, I usually wait for the break above the EMA. I get in at around this price point, and then I could sell close to or near to the resistance. It makes sense to me. It's very easy for me to understand, and I tend to experience a pretty high success rate. And a year to date, I've only taken 2 losses out of every single position that I've taken. And it's because I tend to focus on quality over quantity. And that is one of the last things that I want to cover. Our goal is to assist our 100,000 members to make $1,000 each. A lot of you might be saying that's very far-fetched or that's impossible. Due to the power of the internet and being able to actually focus on doing simulation trading, so being able to get your feet wet, right, and not focus on the dollar value, but just focus on actually understanding what it is that you're invested in and understanding on how to grow your account. If you're able to do this with a simulation trading account that TD Ameritrade gives you free access to, or whatever platform it is that you want to use, again, use a Google search bar, search how it is that you can get access to paper trading or simulation trading. The goal is to grow your account $1,000 for the $1,000 profit, and with our 100,000 members, we have the potential to make over $100 million. That's $1/10 billion. And that is something that we all have the ability to do. These are just my last words of encouragement. Begin paper trading to get your feet wet and learn the ropes. I cannot stress how important it is to focus on making sure that you understand everything that can go wrong and make all your mistakes with fake money. And then when you prove to yourself that you can grow your account, making the fluid transition to a real brokerage account. And in the meantime, begin saving money. The second thing, minimize the number of positions that you take to focus on quality and not focus on quantity. Forget about the PDT rule. The PDT rule acts as an incentive to focus on quality. Don't be focusing on day trading every single day. Don't be focused on day trading what everyone else is trying to pump. Focus on quality. Avoid descending patterns. That's my tip. I don't find them to be very successful, and that's just my words of encouragement. Plan out every trade with a buy, sell, and stop loss plan. Again, understand what you're investing in and the risk involved, making sure that the golden ratio, the potential for profit in comparison to the potential for loss, that the potential for profit is always greater. And by breaking down your stock and setting up a plan, you'll always at least have that understanding so you could focus on quality. The last thing is have a criteria checklist. Just like I have my rules, you should have your own. You've worked very hard for your money. You're dedicating a lot of time in this market. Make sure that every stock that you choose to invest, your hard-earned money and your time, meets a set list of criteria that you develop. You're not going to be able to come up with this right away if you're new to the market, and that is why you need to get your feet wet, download a free paper trading or simulation trading platform, and start getting your feet wet and start testing the waters. That is it. My goal for each one of you is to make you $1,000 in 10 months. And I know that we can do this because I know a lot of people that have over $1,000, and I know a lot of people that have less than $1,000. But as a group, as a whole, I truly do believe that if we focus on paper trading first, learning the ropes first, learning how to grow our account, making the fluid transition, building this criteria checklist for each and every single one of us, focusing on quality, I know that we can get to the $1,000 profit for each and every single one of you. All it is that you have to do is to not force it, understand that it's going to take time, and focus on quality. Thank you guys again so much for watching. If you guys want to learn more about what it is that I do on a day-to-day basis and would like to watch me trade live, be sure to click that first link in the description. If you want to stay connected and learn a little bit more about my free and the fastest growing trading community out there, TechBot Solutions, that's the third link in the description. Thank you guys again for everything it is that you guys do. Continue working hard, continue following your dreams, let your passion be what drives your success, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.
I'm at my prime. Yeah. I'm at my prime. Whoa. Have I gone too far? Do you detect something different? If you look at